Ooh, check, 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 check. Ooh, check, 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 check. Ooh. Welcome to Tenable Gaming. I'm just going to quickly change the screen, which is on a blank screen right now. First, I'm going to load up Disco Elysium, which the stream is about. I'm enjoying the game, quite a lot of dialogue, so it's a pretty slow-paced game. A couple of highlights were quite satisfactory. Maybe I was looking for a little bit more action in this, or even as a narrative game. I think there's sometimes way too much going on. I also think maybe going for sensitivity was a mistake, because it seems going down the sensitivity route is actually throwing more and more text at me, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's let's see. We're also in a very sticky situation. I need some sleep, but I can't get it because I cannot afford the prices of the world in rags. So instead, what else do I have left? I can't sleep. Maybe I can request him again.
You? Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is this a shaker?
He sounds irritated.
You sound irritated. Why? All I wanted is drink.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I wearing a bow tie and doing this?
You know what? Is there a way I can...
smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? No. Do you know why?
Because you're not... Why?
Because I'm not a bartender. I'm a cafeteria manager. Is there anything else you wanted?
What you want is a goddamn drink. How is that so hard to understand?
You know what? I really want to shout at this guy. I'm getting tired of his attitude. Yeah, I'm trying to deal with the... Yeah, I did some bad stuff, but you know, I'm trying to make amends, right? What a piece of trash. Okay.
Like what?
So I can't sleep. I wonder if this game has some kind of, you know, amnesia system. No, I do have amnesia already. What I was trying to say was some kind of system where lack of sleep can affect me later or something. So this is definitely not going where I wanted it. Getting a bit sick of this guy's attitude. Beat him up so bad.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
Can I not sleep in the car? You know, why can't I just sleep in the car? This game is a bit of a pain in its moments, you know? Why can't I just sleep in the car, you know? So essentially, I have to just go around and keep playing. I think, because I got nothing else I can do.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands. In the background, the radio plays. Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair is grey like lead. No, this one is a monster in disguise.
Right, so she's done some stuff. Or we know she might be the murderer. Can't even look at the body again. I failed the quest already, but...
An old monument.
Also, some of these quests are a bit confusing because I said, okay, I am going to look for all the armor parts. Yeah, that's what the game was. And I did that. And instead, what it's done... Also, some of these quests, they've quite literally failed the quest a little bit for me. Because, how do I say it? Oh, Elysium, sorry, just editing some stuff. So what I was saying was... such a frustration. I literally forgot what I was saying. We're distracted by editing my video description because last time I was playing it, for some odd reason. Ooh, nice, some new things to explore. Sewer grate, gateway to the river of filth. Well, I do have a bin now. I can probably go access the bin in the back because I got the keys off. That piece of trash by the name of Gart. I'm gonna beat that guy up so bad. Maybe I should have just invested all in physics and just, bully people in this game. Okay, let's open up this trash box. Let's see what's inside.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, "Whirling in rags." With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid.
Wonder if my gun's inside.
Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Open the lid.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Let's look under the
You see
carton.
milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer. Guitar-marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that...
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
The fuck's he on about, kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash, the lid was locked, and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly, unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork? It is. Look, the plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
I think I didn't want to be a cop anymore, so I threw it away.
Well,
His eyes express a rare condolence. Then he picks it up.
lucky we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries. Organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes. It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron, only in its social sensibility. The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Okay, so let's look at some interactive items.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover. Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism, they represent a society in accord with the natural world and at the same time above it. Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections: international developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs. Please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer. That certainly sounds like a certain delinquent youth who likes to harass you from her balcony. The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée. Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. Oddly enough, this article has two bylines: Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity. Thus, the so-called tournée becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a fritter. And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for.
Looking at something like F1 racing, I think I have to be more middle of the ground in this one. I would probably say that's not quite correct.
Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave.
Jesus.
This flimsy magazine is right. Deep down, you know the only true stakes are life and glory, or death by fiery dismemberment. That's because you haven't been reading critically. But don't worry. The whole point of these sorts of articles is to let someone else read critically for you.
Okay, right. Kim, this article says that no really watches Tip Top Turning for the races.
Ah, come on. Can this article read your mind?
No, I guess not.
Well, there you have it. No reason to get hung up on the pretentious ramblings of a few young men.
True.
If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
This is true.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Let's see what they mean by local concerns.
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbour red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta.
See, and this is where these so-called revolutions failed completely. They showed little to no critique of what they're doing and their leadership.
Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
Jeez. See, this is actually a very good way to show how language is misused by modern commie, if you will. Look at the thing. The guy, people haven't paid rent, okay? They're occupying your space. You made a deal with them that they're going to pay you something to occupy that space for a while, okay? They haven't paid it for a while. So now they're like, oh, well, I need to evict you because you didn't do the contract. And then what they do is they add the words to them about identity. So imagine if there's like a black family that hasn't paid rent and maybe the guy isn't very forgiving and they want to kick him out. Personally, obviously, I would give a few more chances. But the point is they didn't pay rent. What, these modern socialists, for example, would do is they would say, they would add the word black to it, like that identifier, because that identifier would immediately trigger in your mind some kind of emotive response, when you say, oh, they're getting rid of these communist tenants, they will immediately jump to, oh, this is discrimination against our communists because they don't like communists. This is actually awesome, to be honest. Okay, charging. Wouldn't it be better if everyone reached some? Wouldn't it be better if everyone, if labor and capital, could reach some reasonable accommodation?
According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation with the forces of international capital or their mucilaginous allies in the coalition. Why do communists love puerile insults? And they wonder why they're always being left out in the cold.
Amen to that, brother.
Judging from the context, it's something very large and fundamental. You should probably know about it already, honestly. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Okay, next up, let's go with checking the yellow man mug.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
I can't actually see the mug, so I can't really comment on it. Like, it's given me a description, but it's given me lots of descriptions so far of certain things, which, to be honest, I'll probably look at them from a different perspective. So, the mug will be sent. That's it. That's a nice one. The mug will be useful by denouncing it. I can earn political capital. Yeah, I think it's a funny mug. I'm gonna go with that.
Understood. You're that kind of detective. Why don't you get back to your case?
See, why can't you just be a person who's got good humor? That kind of detective.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard.
Ugh.
It's a metaphor for you. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want. If you want it to be kitchen tissue, it can be kitchen tissue. It's not though. It's toilet paper. Still wet, the toilet paper, I mean kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
Hey, Lieutenant, what is this?
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property.
Interesting. What kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that. Your kill count. Yours will surely have your kill count.
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have had lights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
That's cool.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Browse the white papers.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name.
Oh my.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. You like this grimy murdering, don't you? It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
In my cases appear to employ some kind of naming convention.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
No, I mean a non-numerical one with titles.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does. It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
I seem to have named the case the Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
Okay, count the pages.
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
But to the paper.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. And a fuck you to you too. That last one cuts a slash right through the paper. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
No, actually. Any ideas? Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. Arson, petty theft, you don't exactly. In the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields. These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs. Color of the irises, predation marks, condition of sexual organs. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. What delicious power hid within this pathetic mess. You feel better. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters, RCM. Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it. Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center. With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board. The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner.
Gonna save the game before I check the ledger out again, because there is a 42% chance of success on that option.
An intricate web. It almost... It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of... It's proving to be harder than...
See? Quite work.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the next world mural. Why yes, your precinct number is 41. Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Harry Dubois, HDB. Still feels like there's something missing from that. This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class." People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown. The case files do not show you finding the author of the design. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock. ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between two options. A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority. And that love truly is possible in the next world for new people. And it is too late for us. No one cares what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger. What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done?
I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. It's too much. Easy. What did I actually do? Wait. Oh, no, that's good actually. That's actually, I chose the right thing. Why would I want to wreak havoc on middle class?
AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man. And you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration.
Leslie always take his.
The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Just keep them off the streets.
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is. Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing? Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face. Then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. Kill them. They broke it. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one? It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape. That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead. Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day. Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it. Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it is. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it, too, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved. No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next? Murder. Tum 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 at the Hookah Parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the Hookah Parlor.
That is one of the worst pronunciations of hookah I've ever heard in my life.
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve, was doing it solo, said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister, was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the Hookah Parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had. No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn Hookah Parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day. No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything. Yeah, really lame. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge. See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
Must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
So he was there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed, piecing it together. Next.
That's it.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
What else do we have? Back on the like a Burke. Cheating option again. Back to the inventory.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. It takes about half an hour. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. It's not what you...
Ah, what? Oh. Back. training myself to be a detective right now.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. Two octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Pick up the cough.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue. It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored.
Oh, the chewing gum wrapper.
Exactly like the gum wrapper you found. The same brand of chewing gum. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please. Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on. To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything all right?
There is nothing. Again. Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout. Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia. That's me. Blue eyes, that's me. Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy. Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Was that the X something?
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape, its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
My name appears to be Harry.
Your name is fuck all.
It certainly ain't Harry. Your name is passed out on the ground, dragged around by one of the other evil apes. They're taking you somewhere.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
Came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen. You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Let's solve the case.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses.
So the ledger, where's the ledger gone? Tool now, okay, and goes in. Okay, I'm not sure what that's gonna do. Gonna put one place, this in the other. Right. What else do we have? So what was that? The end of chapter 1 or the end of the half of the game? Like an interval. Conceptualization. Bonus from items. Like base learn skill. What else do I already have? Nothing. Logic. Why is there only one level of logic? Just try. Skill cap reached. Ultra. Oh, how many I can put in depends on how much of this I've got. Okay. What are these things? This. What does this do? I'm gonna go with the shortest ones. Let's just go with this one. Quite long. Go with it. Once. You know what? Or I'll just go online and check it out. Okay. Build this guy up. Authority. Authority would be good, I think. Authority, any good. Disco Elite. Yep. Apparently it's not a good idea. Hosier. Hosier any good? Ah. Best skills. Elysium. That just go Elysium. Best skills. Shivers. Just put that one. Pull yourself together. Violation. Okay. That actually looks like a good skill. Got the details. Volition seems to be a good one. Let's go with this. Okay. Seems to be more. Let's try to use the
Inside,
lights
you
to
see
see
a
the
set of
markers
steering
now.
levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Switch the lights on.
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage. The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Canadian comes to life with a whiny growl. The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Stand for the machine.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Okay, at the shimmering street grid first.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
Okay.
You catch a faint glimmer from a broken beer bottle in the distance. Sounds. Two men engaged in a drunken argument, followed by the closing of some distant window. In the middle of a broken plaza, illuminated in a cone of light, two men, one slim, the other sturdy. They are on the city stage, but only one of them knows his lines.
Ah, Martinez at night. Let me see. Right here. No, it does not.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. The first row has 18 dots. The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some. There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200. The last row has 3 perforations. That's it. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM.
Let me see. Right here. Oh yes. Coal City. Le Royaume. The burnt-out quarter.
All of them worse than here.
Oh, Kim, what do all these holes mean?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Son, here is where we score your life performance. You better hope it's good.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
18 years I've done this?
That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth?
Do you really think I have an idea?
Fair point. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see... Wow, more than 200.
That a lot?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
I used to be good. That's some solace, I guess.
Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
That's a pretty good number.
Confirmed kills. That sounds pretty evil. A drink would soften that feeling.
That's not too many.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asked the man across the desk from her. Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his ankles over said desk. I don't feel anything anymore. It's just like brushing my teeth. I do it once or twice a week and don't really think about it. There's no trace of guilt in his voice.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
He's sincerely glad you're not a scary predator. Not to say relieved you're competent.
Have you ever killed anyone, Kim?
Yes.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
How do you handle this strain?
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Like, maybe I should find a hobby.
Why not gardening? You've already got the yellow gloves.
Ooh, burn.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab.
Maybe I should pour one for the fallen.
If you want to pour out the booze you've been carrying around on duty, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
I'm gonna hold on to it.
As you will. If you want to pour out the booze you've been carrying around on duty, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
A dark pool of cheap Pilsner appears at your feet. It shimmers in the lights of the Kanema. Honorably done. You have given up some of your own blood for theirs.
Here's to you, honor dead.
Very noble of you. Are we
Thank-
done here?
Damn, this guy. Sometimes I want to slap this guy.
The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page.
Okay, there's a lot of stats involved, of course. RPG after all. So I finally understood the stats in this game, and I realized I shouldn't have followed some suggestions that I had on Discord channel. These guys are made it life hard for me. Should have stuck with my custom build. Two more levels, and I'll have be able to assist. Okay. Maybe after this, I should invest in fighting stuff. Okay, so what's the quest looking like now? I am 2 o'clock in the morning?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out tool.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
Hello, I'm in need of financial assistance.
10-4, I hear you. I don't have the authority to grant your request, but...
What does he want now?
He's asking for money.
Is he fucking kidding?
I don't think he is.
Don't give that asshole anything. He's just gonna drink it all.
Alright, that's a negative on the additional funds, sir. Over.
Please, I'm begging you, I need to sleep tonight.
He says he's in trouble, doesn't have a place to sleep.
Well, I guess he'd better crack the case before sundown then.
Vicmar said...
Who cares what this Vicmar said? Pull on their heartstrings.
Oh. No fun.
Anything else, sir? Over. Okay, 10-4, sir. I hear you. Relay your question. Over.
Wait. Before you say anything stupid, think it through. You're going to be looking at a straitjacket if you tell everyone you lost your memory. Be smart about this. Ask if he's there alone.
10-4, sir. I'm not hearing your question. Understood, sir. Over. Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
18 kilometers to the south, in the 41st Precinct's relay booth, a small crowd has gathered around Communication Officer Jules Oldboy Pidier, around a dozen cops. The small room is filled with cigarette smoke, a buzz with laughter. when Officer Judith Minnow enters. Her left arm is in bandages and her hair trimmed short.
What is going on here? Did something happen?
What happened is my partner made contact, and it's not good. He's lost his badge. He seemed confused, delirious even.
Mac, the torso Torson, is finger-fucking his fist, laughing hoarsely and apparently telling some dirty story to his partner, Chester McLean, near the entrance.
Yeah, Mullen was fucked, alright. Sounded fucking drunk to me.
Yeah, Mac's right. This was some gnarly shit there. I mean, before he started begging for money, it was...
Enough! None of this is funny. It's fucking sad. That's what it is. He's a cop. He's one of us, goddamn this.
We must help him.
Yeah? How do you fucking plan to do that, huh? Get him off the drink? Go jogging with him in the morning and get him on carrot juice? He's a lost man.
I just know we can't give up on him when he's at his weakest. He wouldn't.
Mac, man the door. You know what he told me? I don't want to get better. I want to get worse. Those were his words. This shit does not leave this room. Not a word of this to the captain, or anyone else. We'll give him a couple of days to pull his shit together.
I guess I can hold off the report for a few days.
Good. Okay, everybody. Nothing but a prank call here. We all got our laughs. Now get back to work.
Far north, on the other side of the motorway, the officer quietly hunches with his hand in the motor carriage. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat.
Now, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They're also fragile. I'm not going to turn it on for you again.
Okay. Okay, what was the...
Yes?
Tell me about the case again. Let's go down to... Visit fishing village. Tracks. The rain has almost washed them off. Pawn shop, probably closed right now. Water lock, out of order till Wednesday.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens. Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in from the sea interrupts the silence of the situation. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
So what day is it today? That in a bin. Oh yeah, getting some trash. Wonder if the pawn shop is still open. Antique machine. Military wear. What's with a woman? A plague simply saying DEI.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Let your gaze run over the streetlight.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently.
Is that a streetlight?
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
Where did you get this?
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
How much for the streetlight?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
A bargain? No, it's not. He's trying to sweet-talk you into buying trash.
Even taking into account the risk of taint.
There's also the matter of rewiring. But the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Scammer.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Is the Harman Welshie W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real. If police work means playing tapes, sure, you can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
Like a beach party, with sand and sun and seagulls dancing on the breeze.
Theoretically, yes, but we don't have time right now. It's generally murder investigation first, then beach party. That is the unofficial RCM motto, yes.
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech. found sounds and music from a variety of genres, even though I don't really like music.
One shop owner that doesn't like music.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back. Yes, buy something nice, a figurine. This sounds off. You shouldn't trust this guy. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
A long, long time ago. They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like the bright colours indiscriminately.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. I don't like either set very much, to be honest. But there are many parents among my customers.
He seems to have his own take on the conflict played out in perpetuity by these toys. Might be interesting to find out what it is.
I got achievement for being a centrist.
You see rows of
Laughable,
toy
apparently.
soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets. It's everything you pick up.
Ooh, that didn't work. Let's try it again.
You see rows of toy soldiers. But why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider.
Who?
The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his head. 50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations. Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
That was a very smooth salesman's grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him.
Okay. Save this now. Quite sure what the figure would do. Can I investigate it? Radiance. says hat. Where's the hat gone? Ooh, I got some more equipment. Mission. Shiver me tender. Shiver me tender. Shiver me timber. There. It broke the game for a sec. So these are things that will teach me stuff. The longest one. Hours, yeah, okay. Just see what this does. Okay, what else was I going to look at? I was going to look at suggestion. What's that? Oh, okay, that's good actually. Suggestion. Half-Life is just a crazy person. What is electrochemistry again? Oh, good thing, apparently. Kind of fuel cut. I look taller in the pretty cool.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Sorry, I feel like I'm interrupting you.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately, RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Look around.
It keeps me entertained.
Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what?
Might be able to aid our investigation.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
What, the hanging?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
By the way, do you happen to have any guns, like the one carried by officers of citizens?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Oh, no way. I sold the gun.
The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
Wait, I sold you my gun?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
I don't like it either. What if she intends to commit the crime and blame it on the citizens' militia?
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find out.
Wait, I sold you my gun?
You,
With Kim here too? That just sounded really, really bad.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
Shout out to Anne in the chat. I'm doing okay. Meanwhile, I feel like there's something you're not telling me.
You weren't quiet yourself, officer. You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight, and that you need the money. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it.
You sucked on a gun? Good. Very normal. Very normal behavior. You must have been in great shape.
Wait, how much did I sell the gun for?
15 real.
The lieutenant looks from you to Roy, and then back to you. It's clear that he hopes this tableau might still turn out to be a bad dream. It's not, though. This has got to be the most. Wow. There's pity there too, in case you didn't notice. The light swirls in his face and glasses. He doesn't know what to say either.
Where could I find the buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
Have the Claires come here?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
Of course. Sure thing. Sure, man.
Okay. Try this.
Greetings on this fine night. What brings you here? The pawn shop is always open.
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Perolidon. It's tough to come by on the street. A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Is it just me or it's really warm here?
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature.
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting. Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket.
What's with the triangles on the vest?
I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. You know, after the People's Pile disaster. Had to take Perolidon for radiation sickness. That's what you were hinting at just now, wasn't it?
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
Tell me more about the brigade.
We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill.
Tough son of a gun, this one. Respect.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance. Didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick. A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too.
The irony that the leftists nowadays are always silent about using nuclear energy as a clean alternative.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths, cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could. No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen? The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forburg as I can. Still in the same city, but I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Have you tried it before?
It's almost like he's worried for you. The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved. Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care.
If you say so. Here you go, man.
Yes, darling. That's the coalition government ordained Parolidon. Straight into your gut. Not so sure about this. Because it's an anti-radiation drug, and you're a cop, not a post-apocalyptic scavenger.
That's a good one. You.
I respect your decision, officer. What else can I help you with?
Okay. Good. Somebody who calls people piggies, but I have a feeling it's the quote-unquote artist.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. Whatever she says, it can't hurt you. You're a different person now. Stronger, healthier, and... Alright, maybe not healthier, but it's a bonus that you've drunk so hard you can't remember any of your past relationships. Oblivion's the ace in your corner. There's a light buzz as you press the doorbell, waiting for her to answer the call. It's cold outside, and you can hear the wind blowing into the speaker. A strange metallic taste fills your mouth as you stare at the intercom.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place an order?
Hi, it's me again. I wanted to talk to you.
My God.
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Distance yourself from it.
Please don't hang up. I just want to explain myself.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice again.
Wait, is she...
Did the same thing when we talked.
Michelle, just please.
Do you think it's
I
funny?
thought you didn't care.
It's funny deceiving a police officer.
The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing. Wind blows into your microphone again, crackling and echoing in the box. Your hands are getting cold and your breathing becomes visible, forming small silvery puffs in the air.
Is it over? Can we talk now?
Ever since I came to work here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean. It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget about you.
And then it hits you.
You're recording, aren't you?
She tries again not to cry, and still doesn't succeed completely. Her quiet sobs sound old and distant, as if her voice is being played off a wax cylinder. Real or not, your mirror neurons react. It feels painful to be listening to this.
Go ahead, ancient recording. Cry then.
Her sound melts into the static from a long-distance phone call. From time to time, you can hear people talking in the distance, but can't make out any words. This is where you hung up the call the last time, but the recording is still going.
Let's keep listening.
The phone rings in the office with an old-fashioned chime, and someone walks by in a pair of heels. The static is like a warm blanket wrapped around the sounds. No one replies, but the static grows stronger like rainfall. Then a female voice speaks out, completely different from the one before, glorious and total somehow. Her words are too cold to comprehend. She smells of sodium lights and rain streaks on car windows. Eyes like pilot lights watch your shape in dark hallways, guttering.
So, it was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? We have other mysteries to solve.
A recording trapped in circuitry? Something weird just happened to me.
Don't take this the wrong way, but during our short stint working together, something weird is almost always happening to you.
Let's go. Get our gun back.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Let's go get some information then. On new dialogues.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with at this late hour?
I do oversleep.
Matter of fact, I don't.
Why is that?
I have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though. I'm old, you see.
You look young.
Thank you. I do what I can to remain presentable. Now, ask me some questions. It'll help us pass the night.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just...
Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should some...
Voila! You're doing it. Really put your back into it. Yell it from the top of your lungs.
Can I have money, ma'am?
Of course. How much do you need?
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
Good one.
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold and oily to the touch. Whoa, whoa! Did you see how easy that was? Ask her for more. Toot toot, train to Moneytown. Can you eat honor? Are you an omnivore? Give me a break.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides...
Do I do this? West. I need my badge. Okay, so first things first. Go back to a quick travel, can we? I have a silly feeling that the girl with the gun is that ginger kid there. We chat with her. How we need.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. Murder was the...
She has my gun, I know it.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't...
Let's just pay our debts for the day for now.
Can I help you?
About the money I owe you.
Yes. Have you got it?
Have you?
A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks, and broken window, 130 real. Well? Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow.
He's not sorry about his behavior for your sake. Now that you have money, he really wants to make sure you're not angry with him.
The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for.
Found the victim's clothes, jerk.
How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
Who else has keys to the crash container?
The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road.
On Clinton Street, near the Boogie Street Diamond, a small truck rattles down an alleyway. It stops by a rusted trash container. Two men, their faces rough and swollen, jump out. They look at the container, despondently. CSM is written on their backs.
Thank you anyway.
Maybe you were sleepwalking?
I think fugue states are more your forte, officer.
Someone from staff put him there?
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene.
Thanks.
Yes?
Bye.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type.
Copo type?
Yes. Guess what's yours?
Cool cop?
No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we? Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
No, actually, I'm not sorry. Change more.
No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance. What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry.
This is sorry.
Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or maybe every time you say you're sorry, you get $1 million.
We'll try Sylvie again.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. Just a second. Sylvie Malaika on the line for you, officer. Yes. Hello?
Hey, Sylvie.
Oh, great. What else do you need, detective?
Have you seen my gun?
Please, no. Not this again. Everyone saw your cool gun, detective.
I showed you my gun. When did this happen?
You were trying to impress some people with it. Everyone was eating, and you were waving it around in everyone's face, begging them to describe it. You said it calms you, and then you started making suicide jokes. It got pretty graphic.
Some poor sod was trying to eat his pudding while you were screaming, spit flying, imitating the mercy shot right next to him. Spat some in his food. I don't think he touched it after.
What happened to my gun?
No idea. All I know is next you were waving around money instead, saying things like big butts cannot lie and guns can't buy money, but money can always buy guns. It almost looked like you pawned it. But believe me, I did not ask.
You know how my paperwork ended up in the trash?
Well, you tried to jam it down the toilet, sir, clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash, thinking you didn't need it. I am sorry about that. Anything else, detective? You mean, why did I leave the bar? Maybe, I don't know.
You hear the cord breaking up on the other end of the radio. Then, the already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer? 57's over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook.
Can I help you?
Sleep now. What?
The door is closed. This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Good night.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Right. Story so far.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then...
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
How do you think today went? I didn't hear smoke.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
Right then.
Yes. It's... well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. Our inspection could have been more thorough, as it always can, but we have some leads we can follow up on. In addition, we got that body down from the tree, and we performed the field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with. I still feel like we missed something, but maybe the boys in processing will surprise us. We still have work to do at the crime scene. Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez, I mean. Including Evrard Clare, a daunting adversary, if there ever was one. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however. Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief. Moving on. We talked to Joyce Messier, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age, and in those hills. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
Thank you for the compliment. We could manage it even in wooden clogs. There are uncanny running reservoirs in this body. God knows why.
Well, what are our powers?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Ravachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
1,000? Why not more?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
How do you know arrestees will show up?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about...
Yeah, I can see your chat. I can see your
they seem to mostly show up.
Yeah, I can see your chat now, Doriano.
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
What happens to people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courant and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
What if I kill someone on duty?
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best. The coalition government, and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. Silence. A great comment to such a conundrum.
What is the Moralton?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
I don't know.
Okay. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats. Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something ominous. Something even a little feminine. But in a strict manner.
Who is Dolores?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
For you, she is something painful, though it's hard to say why.
What do you think of them?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
It is more than that. There's some kind of affection in him.
You like the moral Linton?
Yes, I did, when I was younger. In my 20s, I considered myself a moralist. A blue forget-me-not, a piece of the sky. They're not all that bad. But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe in now. No, I believe in the RCM. That's enough for me.
I have an opinion.
Do you?
Liberal gifts.
Well phrased. I understand answering to foreign powers doesn't sit well with immigrant bashing. But without the EMI, we would be common vigilantes. That's just the way it is.
Vigilante is okay with me.
Then you will adore Martinez. For many of these people, the Union especially, vigilantes is precisely what we are. Personally, I don't enjoy it much.
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string from east to west as Revachol commutes back to the suburbs. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Monday is over. The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different inland, in Jamrock and the GRIH. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our two precincts. We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works, our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
I hope we can do some good.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes. Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
That was something. Cans. In the morning. Okay, people. So, I think this looks like a good place to end today's journey. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you.